Hello and welcome back to Black Desert Online videos here on the Clismcast with me, Meoni. The previous video was pretty successful. I love the comments. Thank you very much for engaging in some conversation with me. I thought it'd be good to keep up the trend and the promise of more videos from the closed beta, and today I thought I'd look at the cash shop. This is some footage I recorded last week. Like I said, I was pretty much recording non-stop, so there'll be a few videos this week up until the launch. And today I thought I'd look at the cash shop. So the way the cash shop works is that you can purchase down coins with your real money and turn those into pearls. You redeem the pearls essentially, and you can turn them into you turn the down cash into pearls, and then you redeem the pearls and they go into your balance. So what you can see here is essentially they give you some down cash as a like a basis. We can turn that down cash, which I guess will be real money eventually when we buy it, into pearls. And to actually do this, we buy a pearl box on the marketplace. You'll see here that down cash has gone down to nearly nothing after I bought that package, that box. And what we would have to do now is go and redeem that in your inventory, in your pearl inventory, and then you'll be able to buy anything you want. So let's have a look at some of the costumes. Now, a lot of Black Desert's costumes are getting some flack. This is probably the only pay-to-win aspect of the game, people are saying. Personally, I don't think it's pay-to-win before anybody comments. Bear in mind, Kungan and a few other people in the the usual sort of scene for MMOs, big streamers and YouTubers alike, are all agreeing fundamentally that this is one of a few examples, one of those rare gems of a game, an MMORPG that hasn't relied on the ability to really essentially buy power. Now, as much power as you can buy in this game is pretty much comes down to 10% experience on this particular costume you're seeing here. This is a Carlstein outfit here, however you want to pronounce that. You can get that for pretty much all of your classes. And here's the sorceress, not the sorceress, the witch costume as well. Let's have a look at some Valkyrie ones as well. But this Carlstein outfit, you may notice, you probably might not be able to see, depending on my video's rendering. But basically the full set, this is a full set of costume items, which includes a sword and a shield skin and a chest piece and a helm and something else as well. I think it's an armband. And essentially all of those parts have various little tiny stats on them that equal up to 10% experience gain. This is where people are saying that the game can be quite pay to win in that aspect. It's more pay to convenience. The things on the store, in my humble opinion, are all pay to convenience. There are some controversial items which hit home for me slightly, like the ability to essentially buy the boat skins. Currently on the beta, on the beta, not currently, it did actually give you the actual template as well as the costume item for the boats. So you're actually getting a free boat with your purchase of a skin, which I don't like. If you have seen the previous video, you'll see that boats take anywhere from 2 to 5 hours to really flesh out the parts needed for it, and then another few hours to actually make just a raft. So the fishing boat and the ferry, you don't want to actually go and buy those skins with the actual item. It takes some of the fun out of the game. We think that's still for testing purposes, but we can't guarantee that that's the case until launch. As you can see here, this particular costume is another one that's caused controversy, which I really like. This costume is only available in the cash shop as far as we're concerned right now. It hasn't been confirmed elsewhere. This one is a ghillie suit. Essentially what it does is you have the option of turning off your nameplate, guild plate and all of that stuff, so there's no heads-up display over your character to any player that sees you. All they will see is this green bush person running around basically, and you can actually hide in tall grass and areas where it's green, and you can dye all of these sections so you can change all of this to whatever color you want. That's one of the neat features I'll show in another video, the dye system. But you can essentially become invisible, and one of the concerns was because you can turn off your nameplate and stuff, and this is a cash shop item, you would essentially be invisible and be able to get the first hit in PvP. Now, bear in mind, a lot of this comes down to you actually having the power to kill someone from the first hit in PvP, and then there's also the fact that when someone does have a first hit on you in PvP, usually you're not prepared for it anyway, lest of all them hiding in a bush. That's my opinion, though. People have their own opinions. As the saying always goes, opinions are like arseholes. So everyone has them, and they're all entitled to them. So it's all really up to you. As far as I can tell, though, they're all pretty much 10% experience. There isn't actually any like standard stats. There's gathering speed increases as well, stuff like that. But that's not really that pay to win. I mean, we're talking. I think it's gathering speed increased by 1. It's not even a percentile. It's just 1, which I don't believe is any significant number at all. And certainly isn't anything to be concerned about. Personally, I wish that these costumes had no stats affiliated with them at all. That would be the perfect world to live in. Obviously, that isn't going to happen. We might get some feedback on that, but as far as DALM, Europe, and of course NA and Pearl Abyss are concerned, they went on record the other day in reply to someone's furious comments on the forum. With a quite constructive response, essentially saying, not quoted here, but essentially saying that they have no interest in really removing any of these bonuses from the costumes as of yet, because they are, they're more convenience items, and they feel like they want to support those people who find grinding particularly difficult and want to give them a little bit of a boost. But then again, if you think about it, someone who's level 55 who's, got this buff, and someone who's level 49, the difference is that, there's not really much difference. That person could still have the same equipment as the other person. Equipment in this game is something that people jump to conclusions about without realizing that the N tier pieces of equipment, armor, etc. are actually found pretty early on in the game. Some of the actual decent pieces of armor are ones you get around level 18, and the only thing that makes them more powerful at level 55 or whatever is essentially through enchanting, through RNG regrading, basically, if you imagine that from Arcade. So really, a plus 15 weapon is going to still rip through someone with a plus 1 weapon, or whatever armor they're wearing, regardless. So experience doesn't really get you that much. I do agree, though, that levels do give you a certain amount of power, but since the soft cap is 55, and that the experience gain after that is literally torturous, basically everyone's going to have that buff, or if they haven't, then it's not going to really make enough of a difference, because 10% of nothing is still nothing, you know what I mean? So it's really up to you. There are some cool costumes, as I'm rabbiting on here in the background. You can see you can get most of the costumes for all of the various classes in the game. Of course, the classes are gender locked in this game, if you were unaware before. We're looking at Tamer here behind me. This is quite a popular costume. They're really detailed. Whoever they've got working on the costume design at DALM Games in Korea is just fantastic. There's Gandalf, in his beautiful outfit. One of the concerns as well was the ability to not really have any distinct identity separated from other people. Now you can see there's like 3 or 4 costumes and rare occasions available for each class. That will change. There will be more available. And in the game, the armor variants, they don't change too much. They're more of just slight enhancements over the previous ones. Of course, you can spice this up with dyes in the actual game. This allows more variation, obviously, through dyeing. But I do agree that there needs to be more diversity in the game through armor sets, but not necessarily what people would, imagine that they'd want from other games. This isn't going to be World of Warcraft from day one. Yeah, you're not going to have a transmogrification system, essentially. You're not going to have like 1,000,001 armor sets, because the game hasn't been out that long, and there really isn't that much concern for that. So rest assured that there is some variation, and that's what you're paying for in this game. It's buy to play. There's no subscription fee, which is fantastic, unlike a lot of other variations of games. There is no player-to-player trading in this game, which is something that Kungan put out in his recent video, which I have to agree with is probably one of the biggest highlights over any of the other MMOs out there currently on the market, essentially considering there is player-to-player trading in those games. And that means essentially you can go to a third-party website and buy gold and essentially distribute that however you want, basically. You are buying power that way. In this game, you cannot trade with other players. You can only go to the auction house. The auction house is fixed to set prices, so you can't buy and sell for ridiculous amounts of money or whatever. That's one of the techniques that gold sellers used to employ, was they'd list something like stupid, like a sock for 30,000 gold. No one in the right mind would buy it. Well, that's true, but the gold seller would buy it because someone slipped them, 50 quid here and there. That's how that market used to work. Not so much in this game, considering the minimum and maximum has already been assigned, and the likelihood is that someone else will randomly buy that anyway. In that way, it's a lot more fair. A lot of the gear and equipment, and in pretty much everything, will be up to you to grind or acquire through, original means, through your own hard work, and it will pay off if you put some time into the game. Obviously, the XP gain is more of a convenience item if you think about it. There is no energy potions in this version of the game. As you can see, it's all cosmetic on the cash shop, which makes me pretty happy. The only thing that does concern me about the cash shop, as I've said so far, is the boats. The horse skins that you can see in the background do actually add slight movement speed increases, but it's all that is negligible anyway, based on the tier of the horse. You can actually get some not costumes, but you can get some armor sets that are equal to these in the actual game. They may not look as pretty. Bag space, obviously, that's a convenience item that a lot of games employ. That's not really something we should complain about. Weight limitations, if you don't know that, even if you have like 30 slots of inventory space, if something weighs 200 tons, you're not going to be able to fit it in your pockets. That basically increases the weight size so you can fit it in your pockets. Stuff like that. Horse skill change coupons. Essentially, that just speeds up a few things that you would ordinarily do. You'd go and breed horses, and that allows you to reset a skill if it rolls one that you don't want. If someone wants to pay for that, so be it. That's not really pay to win. As it comes to me, it's more pay to save a little bit of time. There is obviously a line to be drawn, and people need to realize that the cash shop as it is right now is in a good place, but I'm hoping that they stick to their word and they don't bring in any pay to win. Now, there's plenty of threads talking about this already, lots of hubbub about it. Personally, my overall opinion is Black Desert Online in the current situation from closed beta 2 is not pay to win, it's pay to convenience. It's enjoyable, and frankly I feel that every now and again buying a die or whatever, or any of these things in general on the cash shop is it's not going to break the game, it's not going to break the economy, it's just going to make my enjoyment better, as a luxury item that I don't necessarily need. You don't need to buy the costumes, you don't need the 10% XP rather, but if you want it, it's there, which is how it should be. I'm not going to be able to suddenly log in and buy a full set of the best armor or weapons in the game unless I actually work my ass off for it through fishing, crafting, or any of the other means in the game. So hopefully this has been of some interest to you. I know these topics keep cropping up on Reddit, for example, and the forums. Here you can buy, this is the loyalty store that we're seeing now, by the way, so if anybody points out, you can buy boss summons, which is essentially buying gear. They are awarded to all players, depending on how long you play the game for, and you get 100 loyalty for logging in every day. A bit like Arcade, but without a subscription, basically, so you don't pay anything. So that's pretty cool. I'm very, 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 very hyped for Black Desert Online. It has a lot of promise. It has to, obviously live up to those promises. The forums have been full of confirmation by the devs that they're not going pay to win. I hope they stick to that, and I hope to make more videos and really, I should be here to stay, like I was for Warcraft. So thank you very much for watching my video. More to come this week, and I will see you next time. Bye.